The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on Sir Raleigh the Frog. As a young man, this hot-tempered frog grew bored of his life of luxury and privilege. On a whim, he tried his hand at a bit of piracy and found it to his liking. Raleigh, who quickly became addicted to crime, was brought into the Fiendish Five as chief machinist, where his evil tinkering genius rose to new heights. The last reported sighting of this mad machinist was off the soggy coast of the Isle o' Wrath, a small island uncomfortably situated in the middle of the perilous Welsh Triangle.
Here we are, beginning the game for real. This was the first level of the game I played long ago. When the game first came out, I played a demo of it in a Sears, and I thought it was pretty awesome. I didn't really get that far, mostly because I think I died and then I had to stop.
Hey Sly, I just spotted something that's going to complicate the mission. See that nasty looking gate? It blocks the only road leading into Raleigh's hideout.
No problem. I'll just use my climb move.
Okay, but remember, you can only climb on certain objects, like pipes and ropes.
Yeah, sure, and like that ladder there?
That is correct, but do not forget, Sly. You have to get close.
Then hit the circle button to grab it. Yeah. Relax, Bentley. I live for this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what worries me.
You're gonna come to notice that this game really loves the circle button and uses it for a lot of stuff. And right here is the collectible.
Now this is very interesting. The message you just found appears to be some sort of clue. I'll decipher it here in the van. In the meantime, see if you can find any more clues. The more I have, the easier it'll be to crack the code.
So basically main collectibles are going to be those bottles. The coins are optional. They'll either give you an extra life or a horseshoe, which basically acts like Aku from the Crash Bandicoot series, where the lucky horseshoe will take a hit for you. It's the only way to really not die from taking a hit. And like Aku, you can only hold 2 of them. Unfortunately, you can't get a third and you get invincibility. And combat's not that hard. It can be kind of tricky in some spots, but other than that, not much else to it. Bottles aren't really that hard to find either until the 4th world, the one I'm on, where my save is. So we can't go through that gate, but we can destroy all this stuff and get some coins. I probably should have 100 soon. And as we can guess, like Crash Bandicoot, water equals death in this game. There's an ability that allows you to not die from water. But I'll get into details about that when we reach that point in the game. I think we'll get that by the 2nd world. But as I was saying before, this was the first level I ever played in this game, in the whole series. And I think this was actually the first PS2 game I ever played when I was younger. I thought it was really cool, but my parents wouldn't give me a PS2 because they said I was too young or something. I don't know. My sister got one and she would never let me use it. FML. Wait for him to move. And then we're going to want to take out him. And then we're going to want to take out that hydrant thing. As you can tell, whenever you hit one of these, searchlights or laser or anything else that you're supposed to avoid, they will dissipate. You also don't want to touch those forms or else you'll die. It's kind of cheap, really, in some spots. And now we also have a horseshoe, which gives me immunity to 1 hit. The second one will give me a gold one, and then I can take 2 hits before dying. It's something that you can't really stack up on horseshoes.
According to my amphibio positioning system, that big blimp is where Raleigh is hiding out.
That blimp looks more like a machine than a hideout.
You're right, Sly. That is a storm machine. It's the reason why it never stops raining around here.
That explains all the wrecked ships.
But why would Raleigh want bad weather at his own hideout 24/7?
Beats me. But rain or shine, I'm gonna steal my family's book back. And if Raleigh gets in my way, it's on.
Let's see. I wonder if I can take up those bees. Oh, I can. Nice. Because I don't like bees. The intercom thing, between Sly and Bentley, it's kind of like the codec in Metal Gear Solid. I believe it's a parody. And I like the conversations between Sly and Bentley. Two of them in particular are pretty cool, especially in the later worlds. And thankfully, this Watcher is not deaf. As you can also tell, the first few bottles here, they've been pretty easy. Like, you have to try to not get them.
Nice job so far, Sly. To get over the next gate, you'll need to grab onto this hook using your cane. Just jump and hit the circle button.
Got it. Jump and hit the circle button to grab onto hooks.
Easy as can be. And if you miss any of the bottles, you can also jump on that, and then you can go back through. A few times in the game, in some moves, there will be a point of no return where once you cross something, you can't go back and grab anything else. But it's kind of rare to say the least. Even though this is stealth-based, as you can tell, there are some spots where you can't avoid getting caught by an enemy. Can't get that. Looks like you can, but you can't. Probably have to try to not be able to get the code in this level. We should probably be close to getting it all soon. I believe it should be fine. And I didn't. Wait for that to go. I believe this should be good. Also like that music that plays whenever you're doing something that's quote-unquote stealthy.
That large vault has got to be somehow related to those clues in bottles.
You can faintly hear it's like usually when you're walking randomly.
If you can locate all the clues in this area, I should be able to crack the code and get you inside it.
You can probably faintly hear it right now. I think I'm supposed to use that, but I want to check. No, I have to go there.
Bummer, you can't open this vault without finding the rest of the clues.
That vault's like the one in Carmelita's place, where if you hit it, Sly will kind of act weird. And the other two bottles are over there, so we'll already have our first ability. Most of the abilities you get from those are pretty damn useless. This one is useless as well.
You found it, Sly? That's the final clue to crack the code. Now find out both, and I'll give you...
What's annoying is that whenever you get to these, you have to wait for Bentley to first say press the circle button, then you press it, then you have to wait for him to finish this, and then... It takes like usually a long time for it to finish up, and then you open it. It's kind of a shame that they don't have it flash on the screen, right? To save you time. I mean, it's amusing, but still annoying.
Sly, you found a page from the Thievius Raccoonus. This page teaches old Drake Cooper's fast attack dive move. Press the triangle button to use it.
The triangle button is meant to be used for the special attacks. This is useful, not that useful. I believe it's one of Sly's attacks in PlayStation All-Stars. I could be wrong. done. Yeah, because we have to open that door, and then we'll be done. They could have just had Sly, you know, like walk through the door on his own. They had to make you do it.
That blimp looks like the most secured location on this boat. If Raleigh's really as smart as his police files suggest, then that's where I'll find him.
Wonderful idea, but your plan is flawed.
Why?
Because it's impossible to get near him. To access Raleigh's blimp, you would have to sneak through that high-voltage power tube. To do that without getting electrocuted, you'd have to destroy that power generator. And to do that, you'd need 2 more of Raleigh's treasure keys, which are heavily guarded.
Interesting. So when are you gonna get to the impossible part?
Fine. But I warned you. I've marked the areas you need to hit with holographic markers. Follow them to your objectives.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. It's your funeral.
Oh, come on, Bentley. Where's your sense of adventure? He's like Otacon from Metal Gear Solid, only he doesn't know how to have fun. Actually, he might just be a parody of Otacon at this rate.
Wow, you found a lucky charm. That'll protect you when you take any damage.
Basically, this is like a hub world where we're just gonna find all the levels in one spot. We don't have to get to them. Sometimes you can't get to them immediately.
I see, chaps. My heartiest congratulations to you all. The storm machine has sunk its 50th ship last night, and the loot has already been unloaded. Our operation is moving along splendidly, with the possible exception being the gross negligence displayed below decks, and I demand the boilers stay at full pressure at all times. If you lazy, lowbrow, technically incompetent pack of gutter snipes did your jobs right, we'd have sunk 100 ships by now. But of course, 50 boats is a fine, fine achievement. Carry on, my boys, carry on.
I'm probably gonna have to be quiet for those because there's no subtitles that shows what they're saying. But anyway, this is the hub world. As you saw, I got an extra life there, which is those little slime heads. And basically the hub worlds, they're relatively simple, really. You can usually find some extra lives, some coins. There'll be a bit of a challenge to get to each level. Like up there, you have to sneak past that Garno to get there after getting, well, up there. There's not really much else to these levels. I would say this game kind of mirrors Crash Bandicoot. Like, you can get extra new abilities, and the horseshoes are like Aku Aku. In addition, you kind of have to do something for the hub worlds, I think. Some of the bosses are actually similar to Crash Bandicoot bosses as well. There's no order you have to do these in.
Better close those furnace doors. Jump and press the square button. That'll slam them shut.
I believe that one level, you have to, you need to have all the abilities in order to unlock the final one. I think it's the last level or something. I don't know.
Eureka! We're in the engine
This is the
room.
first really challenging
My
level.
analysis tells me that if you trace the spinning crankshaft
Because, you know,
all the way
all the
back
death
to its
water and
source,
stuff.
you'll find Raleigh's treasure
And not to
key
mention the bottles are
and
actually
sabotage
tricky.
his machine
Or rather,
while
cleverly
you're at
placed.
it.
Some of the abilities, well, sometimes from the save, you don't get an ability per se. You instead will gain something like, in this case, I believe what we'll get from this level is the ability to tell where coins or bottles are marked.
Remember, Sly,
Like
hold
where they are
down
on a
the
level.
circle button near
It's
the
very
blue
useful.
stealth auras to perform
It doesn't apply to
super
other worlds,
sneaky
unfortunately.
feet
It only
moves.
applies to the world you get in. Other ones, I don't remember. I think one of them gives you enemy bios and information on them. That's all I can remember off the top of my head. Some of them also upgrades the previous abilities you got, including ones you will get that are required, and ones that you get from other bottles. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy! Also, you might as well get this out of the way, you do not take fall damage in this game, so you never have to worry about landing somewhere and taking damage. Like, you know, you'll die from pits and water, of course, but you don't have to worry about heights. I also don't really recommend the dive attack for some of these enemies. In particular, the one that bars that shoots, that spits fire at you. I also show this off. Not really much else to it. I really don't think it's that useful. But you know, you might be able to find some use for it. You probably use it fairly well against these type of enemies that pause between their attacks. Other than that, I don't think it's that useful. It's also nice that for some of these parts, they mark like any hazards. Like if you're climbing on something, they'll probably clearly mark where the hazard strikes. Kind of makes things a bit easier, but you can probably tell for yourself. I've noticed that the PS3 version doesn't really have many differences between the PS2 version, but I've seen people say that the inputs you put in controls, they feel a bit delayed, or sometimes they won't always work. I've noticed that happened to Scottish Duck a lot in his Let's Play. I was thinking maybe that's him, but after playing for myself, I found that it wasn't him. Not always anyway, it was sometimes me. Well, the game doing that. I need to... I don't know if I can get back up there, otherwise I might have to redo the whole level. Actually, I think I might. Crap. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully I don't get caught as well. Ooh, that was close. Let's see. I probably could have gone that, but I didn't want to take the risk. And there we go. I could have killed myself, but I wanted to preserve my lucky charms, because, you know, why not? So now we continue through the level like normal. I kind of don't like that about this game, that at some spots, if you mess up, you have to redo the entire level in order to re-get the bottles. It's really not good game design in my opinion. Watch out. Lava, that'll also kill you. But then again, that actually makes sense, unlike water killing you. Ooh, damn it! Thank God I didn't kill myself. Let's see, so we want to climb this. That lava looks weird though, how it's flowing. We also have the save already here, but we don't have all of the clues. I believe we're like one off from them. We have mini saves here, which contain usually 2 or 3 bottles. Other than that, we have 1 left, and then we'll have to drop back down. The only thing is that you usually find the save early in the level, or relatively early, and then you usually find the last bottle at the end, and then you have to backtrack, which can be a pain at times. It's really nice that in those levels, there are no points of no return, so if you kind of mess up, you're fine. Well, it's not if you mess up, it's like, you don't have to worry about messing up on the bottles. Like, if you mess up, then you mess up. No big deal.
Press the circle to enter the vault code. I can't believe I pieced this one together. Try 227.
It's worth noting that, as you can guess, all these codes are randomized.
Get away, raccoon roll.
Like, you can't look online for a code that will work in someone's playthrough and it will
Hold
work
down
on
the
yours.
triangle button to
It
use this move.
possibly
Switch
could,
between your
but
power-ups using L2
that
and
would
R2.
be very coincidental. And that's also the purpose of L2 and R2, to scroll between power-ups. Well, moves more, rather. Rolling isn't that bad. I believe you get a bit more speed. It gets a fairly useful upgrade in the next world. I also believe that the dive one actually gets a very nice upgrade in this world. That'll come in handy. Yay for mindless destruction! And this way we can just progress through the level like normal. And that's about it. It's the last real quote-unquote challenge.